Hi everyone, Matt here from Proof Fly Fishing. Periodically I get some emails and calls about how to install one of our labels onto a blank. So I want to do a short video and kind of walk you through how I do it and kind of explain how our labels are put together. So the first thing that you want to do is prep your blank. What I recommend is you locate the area that you want the label to go, and then you use whatever finish you're using on the thread to lay down a base. So if you're using varnish, lay down a base of varnish. If you're using Threadmaster, lay down a base of Threadmaster. And what you're doing is you're just creating a perfectly smooth, clean area for that label to go on. Once you have that in place, grab your label, and there's a couple parts to how this works. So you have a paper backing. There's two parts to the paper backing, but you have the large paper backing, and then you'll have a smaller piece of plastic that the label is actually stuck to. That plastic, if you feel it, has a light texture to it, and we call that transfer film. So the first thing you want to do is grab that transfer film by the corner and peel it and the label off the paper backing. Now your label is fully protected at this point. You're not going to get any fingerprints on any area of it, no matter where you touch it. But what you want to do now is very carefully fold your label, and on the back side you'll notice there's another paper backing. And I like to use a burnishing tool because I don't want to get fingerprints on it. And I very carefully just peel up an edge of that paper backing, grab it, and peel it off. And there's a second one for the other side, and I do the same thing. Just get that tool very carefully, or you can use your fingernail if it gets stubborn, and peel that paper backing off. So we've got our label. Now you want to be careful. You don't want to touch the back. That's where the adhesive is, and you don't want to put a fingerprint on it. So you grab your label by the transfer film, and you very carefully align it where you want it. Now you've really only got one chance at this, because once it touches the blank it's going to stick, and it's real hard to get it off once that happens. So very carefully align your label, get it straight, and when you're happy with that, press it into place. What you want to do then is start with your finger and just kind of press that label in, making sure we get all the air out from underneath it, and go right over top of it because that transfer film is protecting it. And then what I like to do is grab a burnishing tool and just make sure that that label is fully seated on the blank. So I just go over it, spending most of my time on the corners because those are the areas that tend to lift off. Once we get that nice and burnished, we're happy with it. You can go over it fairly heavy too, because that transfer film is protecting it. So once you're happy with that, grab that transfer film and very slowly peel it off. Now see, this corner is lifting a little bit, so I need to burnish that a little bit more. It's okay to try a different one too. There we go. So we're just carefully removing that transfer film and peeling it off the label. Now if by chance when you're peeling this off one of the corners lifts, you can use that transfer film to kind of push it back in place, push it back down, and make sure it's on and adhered very snugly. Once that's done, you want to be very careful at this point. You don't want to touch the label because you'll leave a fingerprint on it and that'll be visible. So again, you're going to take whatever finish you used and do a thin coat using a brush over top of the label and the rest of the area around the blank, and let that fully cure, and you should be all set. That's all there is to it. If you have any questions, again, shoot me an email and we'll figure it out. Thank you.